All right, we are being challenged again. On at this time, a little hard for me to really see how this is broadcasting because I can't really look at you without looking away from the camera. So I guess I have to look that way. And we're on live. We're having some tech issues. I don't know how long they're going to last. So I'm broadcasting today through my phone, and we're going to still attempt to do uh, at least an hour. I'm broadcasting through my phone right now. Maybe we might get 90 minutes out of this. One of the things that's going on is that we are trying to continue with some of the teachings of Rev.Ike. So I'm going to do my best to give you that information. So if you see me looking the way that I'm looking, I'm actually trying to look at the phone, but I might be looking in the wrong direction. We're broadcasting live, so we're going to get this out on Twitter and Facebook, or both of them, so that people know that I'm here. For those of you who are might be tuning in to watch this show a little later, I have been working for the last 3-4 weeks putting together a set of 5 PDF uh, basic courses in PDF, I should say. There are 5 basics, what I call spiritual courses. And these courses, one is devoted to numerology. There is another one devoted, the one that's in numerology is called The Key to Life is Numerology, and its subtitle is Numerology is the Shorthand of Astrology. And then the second one that I completed was called White Light Meditation with Energetic Shields. Then the third one that got completed was The Art of Manifesting Your Heart's Desires, with its subtitle, The 10 Fields of Awareness. That was the third one. The fourth one that got completed a week ago was called Understanding Your Dreams. And just yesterday, I just completed an extensive basic course called Tarot Basics 1, 2, 3. And that one deals with how to read a regular deck of tarot cards. There's 78 cards in the deck, and it's based on the Rider Waite tarot deck, but as well as the Universal tarot deck, which is also based on the original Rider Waite tarot deck. But it can be used for numerous other tarot decks, and if you take that particular PDF, Tarot Basics 1, 2, 3, the first one is devoted to how to look at the minor arcana, which means arcana means mysteries or secrets. And the minor arcana is 4 suits, which each suit is an element of 14 cards. So there's aces going up to the number 10, and then there's the 4 court cards, and that's in every suit. Now, what's very interesting is I have a system, 2 systems that I'm using in the Tarot Basics 1, 2, 3, and it is called 4+1 system, which is spreading each one of the cards in every suit, uh, taking, let's say, all of the aces, then looking at all the twos, all the threes, all the way up to all the kings. So you're looking at the 4 different kinds. And then I take you into Tarot Basics 2, which is giving you the meaning, some of the basic meanings for the 22 keys, which are the major arcana cards. And then I answer some questions that many people have asked me over the years, 30 plus some odd years of studying the tarot. And then what I do is in Tarot Basics Section 3, I introduce you to what is called maps of consciousness, which is just my term for layouts. And I talk to you about, and I actually show you a little diagram of a 3-card map, a 5-card map, a 7-card map, and then I show you the one that I've been using for years, since 1987, that I developed after receiving a channel from my late mother, and who read cards whenever she felt like it, but she was mainly a person that used a candle flame, and she could pop out readings very well, reading the flame between herself and another person. So in Tarot Basics 3, I teach you about the 3, 5, 7 card spread, and then the 16 card spread. And with the 3, 5, and the 7, I give you some basic examples, because when you use the 7 card spread, you can do compatibility between two people. You could gain an overview of 1 week or a future week, a week that you've completed, and as a week that you want to see what may occur for you. And then I do something that's called the 7 chakras. So I give you, at least with the 7 card spread, 3 different types of maps that you could use. Then I introduce you to the one that I've been using for years, and that's a 16 card map. And I show you, actually, I don't give you a sample reading, but I show you actually what each one of those positions, from the cards 1 through 16, the corners. I have something in there called major corners, minor corners. I have something in there called the spine, the head, the heart. I got a whole lot of stuff in there that you could utilize. So each one of these PDFs, they only cost $27 a piece. But if you order all 5 of them as a set, you get a 12% discount, which means you only pay $118. And that's a pretty good deal. Some people are already looking into it. Some people are very interested in getting them. And a couple of people are putting their dineros aside to get the whole set. Now, I'll never run out. So if you want these sets, be sure to email me at iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com. If you have now what's going on is how you pay them. You pay them through PayPal. Unless you're living here in Albuquerque and you want to deliver the cash in hand, you can do that. Okay, or you could, those of you that want to send me a postal money order, I will accept that. But what you have to do, if you're going to send me a money order or a check, then you need to email me at iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com. And when I email them out, those PDFs, once your check and your money order is cleared, or if you do a PayPal transaction, or you give me cash, once the PayPal transaction is done, then I email you out your specific order. So you can buy as many PDFs as you want at $27 a piece, or get that 12% discount and buy all 5 up front. They're all ready now. You buy all 5 and I email all 5 back to you. There's so much data being used online in the internet that I'm sending them out through Google, because I have a Google email account, and it's the same as the Yahoo. On my Google email, it's iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. So if you want, you could send your request to iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com or at yahoo.com. I'm still going to receive it. Now, if you want to make your payment through PayPal, you tell me which ones that you are choosing to purchase, and I will send you a PayPal invoice by email. And when you get the PayPal invoice, it's telling you almost what to do, and you're going to see a little, I believe, a little yellow rectangular button that says View and Pay. And you click on that. That'll take you right into PayPal, as you see, because you'll get the invoice, and then you'll see it open up in PayPal automatically. And what you do is make your payment through a debit card or credit card. If you already have a PayPal account, you already have one, then all you have to do, if you already have one, all you have to do is just send money to iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com. Send it to iam.circleofgrace1 at yahoo.com if you already have a PayPal account. And all you got to do is when it tells you to mention a comment, you write the ones you want. You don't have to write out the whole title. Just say dreams. Let's say if you get 3 of them, and they are dreams, manifesting, and numerology. You just write that. I'll know what you're talking about. Or you're ordering 4 of them. Okay, you just write down just a basic name of the 4. But if you want all 5, just say all 5. And I know that you want all 5 because the figure will have to be $118. All right, so that was a long commercial. So let me look over here and see if I'm looking at you. I'm going to open up my chat, and hopefully I'll get a little chat screen here. And for those of you that are in the chat, if you could see me, you'll see me. I'll just say broadcasting through my phone so that you see that. We're going to open this up with our prayer. And as I said, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this. I'm having some little technical issues right now with the internet through my laptop. So I'm going to be broadcasting my blog talk radio perhaps next week the same way. So I just want to get that correctly for you. The lighting in here is not fabulous. So I'm going to try to get the lighting up here if I can. All right, through divine power and by divine grace, for all of you who are now viewing right now, witnessing this program, and I'm trying to keep my hands out the way, try to get my face in here. I think I have to look over here. So through divine power and by divine grace, know that the seeds that you hear today, may you be able to plant them in your own life. May you be able to utilize them in such a manner that you become blessed by it on a daily basis. May you feel a greater sense of fulfillment, and may you also know that you are blessed just the way that you are, that you're good enough to receive just the way that you are, and that through this opportunity, through this greater blessing, know that all things with yourself will be well. Okay, because greatness does exist in you. And what we know, that each and every person can receive a blessing. Everybody. And so no matter what we see going on in the world, like the late Rev.Ike used to say, your economy is not really based on world economy. Your economy is based on, as he would say, God's economy, or what we might say the universal source or divine source economy. Why? Because everything that you see around you can be created and recreated. So he often said, the thoughts that you have in your mind, the thoughts that you have in your mind are first $1 million idea. The thought that you have in your mind is $1 million idea. But one day, because it has the value of $1 million, it will eventually materialize and get on the road where it can become $1 billion making idea. So he said, never throw away your ideas. If you're not really acting on an idea right away, what you want to do and realize is this, is that sooner or later, you're going to act on that idea, sooner or later. So I'm going to turn to a chapter here, and I was supposed to use chapter, I believe, 33, if I can find it. I may have it already in front of me, and if not, might use another one. But he was a person who was way ahead of his time. Yes, he had a chapter. We might just review this chapter. We talked about one last week, But yeah, we have it right here, and I'm going to really look at the basics of it. It's the basic principle that he uses, and then I'm going to rock with it right from there. This is called feed your mind right ideas. Now, that's unique. Feed your mind right ideas. Now, when he put this together, he put this book together way back in, I believe, the 60s. So, what happens is this material is still valid today because so many other people are using them. Feed your mind right ideas. And he had a principle for every week because he taught these principles on a Sunday at his church, his metaphysical church. And the science of living principle that he taught is your subconscious mind accepts whatever ideas you feed it and brings them into your experience. So if you just take that, your subconscious mind accepts whatever you feed it, and then it brings that into your experience. Well, how many of you realize today that all of your thoughts, every one of your thoughts, are bringing you ideas? Every one of your thoughts are bringing you an idea, are bringing you an experience. So, for instance, if you were to say something like, man, I'm not feeling good today, and pay attention to those emotions that you're putting into it. The emotions are what is telling your subconscious side, your subconscious nature, to find you more of those experiences that you remember or that it remembers in your memory bank that goes along with that feeling. I don't feel like doing anything today. So, even as an exercise for all of you that are tuning in, say to yourself right now, and this is, you got to fake this one because you don't want to bring it on now, but just say to yourself and then pause. And what you're going to do, you can count, I'll do a count for about 10 seconds. And then I want you to write down how you feel or think about how you feel. But say to yourself, and say it with this kind of feeling behind it. And then you're going to get ready to cancel it, okay? Now, I'm going to do the count right after I say it. I don't feel good. Say that. I don't feel good. Put a little emotion behind it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, take a deep breath. And while you're taking this deep breath, say to yourself, cancel, cancel, cancel. All right, I just want you to have the experience of that. Now, while you have that experience, this is what you want to do now. I just want you just to go with what it made you feel like when you said that, with that kind of emotional energy behind it. Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to prep you with what he is saying. If you feed your mind negative ideas, you're going to have negative results in your experiences. That means every day that you say something that's negative or feels negative, you are actually devaluing yourself. In other words, if your self-worth, your self-esteem is really high, if you're bombarded with negative thoughts from yourself, negative feelings from yourself, and imagine what it feels like. Many of us experience negative thoughts and feelings from other people. When we have received negative thoughts and feelings from other people, don't we feel down? We don't feel so good. We feel nauseated. We have migraine headaches. And this is what happens when people are going to work to an environment that they don't enjoy. In fact, it gets harder and harder every day to wake up on time, prepare themselves, look presentable, and go to work. Even if it's your own business. And you can do, many of us are doing businesses at home. If you don't feel good, you might be walking around your house barefooted. You might be walking around your house sloppy looking. You might be walking around your house with no sense of organization going on for yourself. All because of one statement that had an emotional punch behind it. So he says here, feed your mind properly. In other words, you got to know what to tell your mind. And he always had a good saying, if you don't tell your mind how to think, someone else will do it for you. If you don't tell your mind what to think, someone else will take your place and do it for you. So many of us have experienced that. Negative coworkers, negative bosses, the way they say something to you. Maybe you've been with a partner, mate, and they've always put you down. No matter what you do, they're putting you down constantly, to the point you believe it. Or parents, who some don't know any better and some do. And those that do know better still perform in the opposite way. I once had a landlord way back on Long Island, and he used to curse at his children all the time, and he would call them the worst names. And these were children who were like 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years. They were hearing this all the time, until one day, as they got into school, they would begin to act out. They got into high school, dropped out. And this one son, and he had many sons from different people, but this one son wound up in jail for 20 years at the age of 18. Went to jail for armed robbery. When he came out, his father asked him, why did he do that? And you know what his son told him? He said, Dad, every day I tried to be happy, you would tear me down. To the point I believed all of those words that you told me. I can't have good friends. I don't know what good friends are. No one will ever want me. So the father began to really? And when the father started hearing it, really hearing it, he said, wow. One of the things he did do was apologize to his son. He didn't realize the impact of his own words. Well, the same here. We want to feed the mind, which is the subconscious mind, with proper thoughts, proper feelings, because it's highly important. So he says here, when you feed your mind properly, this is the treatment that he tells you, or he's actually explaining to you. Your subconscious mind accepts whatever ideas you feed it and brings them into your experience. So he said, just like your physical body can reflect good health, your physical body can reflect what? Emotional well-being. Where is it coming from? It's coming from you. That's where it's coming from. So you want to feed your mind the best thoughts that you can give it. You want to apply the best emotions that you can behind every thought. It's the same. You know what? People do it when they go to sporting events. Now, those of you who may have children and your children played sports, what did you do? You cheered them on. So it's not just you, and it is you coming to the game to be supportive, but it's them hearing. They see you there, they see your face, they see the emotions expressed on your face, and what does that do to them? that shoots their self-worth to the ceiling. Not only do they have the skill to play the sport and the discipline of the mind to play the sport, but they're hearing good cheers on their behalf. That's what we got to do. We've got to act as though we are in our subconscious mind library. And we're looking up and down the aisles for all the positive works, all the positive experiences, all the positive works and words and actions and deeds and experiences that are loaded with positive magnetism, so that when we pull it up out of the subconscious, that's all we see, that's all we hear, that's all we feel, that's all we sense, that's all we'll be saying to ourselves. And simply by the fact that we can say this to ourselves allows us to do what? To feel good about ourselves. Why? Because we're treating ourselves with unconditional love. When you can treat yourself with unconditional love, you can't go wrong. Just like Rev.Ike used to teach. You be the first to tell your mind how to think. You be the first one. So you know that's like if you practice every day. You get up in the morning. You be the first one to tell your mind to reflect back to you positive thoughts, positive feelings, positive actions. Throughout the course of the day, you be the first one to compliment yourself. At the end of the day, before you go to sleep, compliment yourself. And if you get in the habit of doing that, eventually you're going to feel better each and every time. So as we begin to do this, you want to be better and better and better in every moment. So one of the things he says here is every day affirm to yourself, God in me, or you can say divine source in me, is my unlimited source of all good. God in me, or universal divine source, is my unlimited source of all good. And he says, begin each morning with a good mental and spiritual breakfast. So you're saying that to yourself. And he says, every moment you get a chance, do that. He says, lunch on ideas of health. Snack on positive beliefs and attitudes. Never let your mind go hungry for positive thoughts and positive ideas. Never let your mind starve for ideas of health, happiness, love, success, and prosperity. Always include as part of your daily diet thoughts like, the presence of God in me heals me and keeps me well. Each night before you go to sleep, have a balanced meal of good ideas. As you feast on these positive ideas, you practice consistent, listen now, he says you practice consistent and continual positive thinking. These positive ideas will just seep into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will digest these positive ideas from the mind of God in you and prepare you. Notice now, he says, and prepare you to experience the good you desire. So that's very, very unique. So here's a part of his affirmative treatment. And if you'd like me to type out this affirmative treatment and send it to you, just email me, Brother Francis, at iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com or iam.circlegrace1@gmail.com. Here's his affirmative treatment, and this is for the chapter Feed Your Mind Right Ideas. I now feed my mind with the idea of health. I mentally and spiritually feast upon the idea of health. I feed upon the idea that God in me is my health, and this divine idea keeps me healthy. Now that's just on health. Here's the next one on happiness. I now feed my mind with the idea of happiness. I turn to the presence and power of God within me, and I am, which is in capital letters now, full of the idea of happiness. See, when he put it in capital letters, the purpose of that was so that you know the presence of God, or the Spirit of God, or the Holy Spirit of God, universal God mind. The name of God is I am. He says, I am full of the idea of happiness. My happiness is overflowing as I spread it around. So, how does that happen? How many people, I know those of you that follow me, if you were at back in April the 16th, I believe it was, at my sister's Divinity Within Mind, Body, Spirit Expo, one of our friends was there by the name of Red, and she's a certified laugh yoga instructor. And I know we had a ball because you could sit there and laugh freely, and you know what was funny, there was at least I think 2 people that were there that were friends of hers who were having a little difficult time relaxing. But those of us who have experienced it, and I think there was at least 10 extras of us there, were able to engage them. And the next thing you know, they were laughing too. They were acting silly like we were. But you know, when it was all said and done, it's just like the energy opened up. It was just big mounds of energy, big mounds of light coming through. In fact, I'm not a certified yoga teacher, but I might try it on here one day so we can put this spirit of happiness out throughout the internet. Well, here's the next one. I now feed my mind with the idea of love. Love. God in me loves me. The love of God operating through me draws all of the right. Now he said, this idea of God, the love of God operating through me draws all of the right what? People. So if you got the love of God in you, it's magnetic. And it will draw all of the right people. You're spreading it around. It's going to draw all of the right people into my experience for every right purpose. I am, again, written in capital letters, enjoying the love, friendship, and companionship, and romance of life. In other words, be in love with life. Be romantic with life. In doing so, what he is saying in that treatment on love is that you begin to shower yourself with unconditional love. And the more unconditional love you shower yourself with, the greater will be bestowed unto you. They always say, all the mystics have said it, all the great sages have said it, that love is the key. So if you show more love, be more love, express more love unconditionally to whomever you greet, that will come back to you 10 million times over. And it began with you. And what does that teach you? You remember the old phrase that people used to say, street justice, when somebody did something to you, what goes around comes around. So what goes around, which means what leaves you, if it was a negative thought, a negative intention, that negative intention goes through your environment, around your auric field, infinitely, expands out through your auric field, connects with everybody else outside of you, and then what does it do? It collects your negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative intentions, collects more negativity, goes throughout the universe, and eventually what goes around comes around. It completes a circuit, and it knows who you are because it will find you, because it's yours. It has your signature in it. So this is why it's so important that we try to give off positive energy, positive feelings, positive intentions, positive thoughts, positive ideas, positive feelings, positive actions. And when you do it on purpose, deliberately on purpose, which is equivalent to random acts of kindness, that's being kind on purpose. When you do it on purpose, with a purpose, as the Hindu religion would call it, your dharma, Dharma, your karma becomes your dharma. In other words, you're creating good karma, good action, good work on the planet, and you're doing it deliberately. But you're not doing it because you want to feed your ego. You're doing it because you want to what? Feed the world. Because you're feeding on positiveness. If you feed on positive energy, then what do you think is going to happen? If you're feeding on it and it's nurturing you, everybody connected to you are going to be feeding on it, and it's going to nurture them. And everybody connected to them, they're going to feed on it, and it's going to nurture them. And what? It's going to be a domino effect. It's just going to go around and around and around and around. And when it comes back to you, it's going to be 20 times, 30 times, 1,000 times, 20,000 times, 100 million times stronger than when it left you. Because it touched each person that was being positive as well. And you don't know, there's many people out there around you who have more positive energy than you are more excited about life than you are more loving than you are. And that's not saying that you are not loving. It's just some people out there got more energy than what we have. And so they take it, understand it, and they spread it out. And as they do that, without any thought or malice in their mind, not feeding their ego, it's going to come back to them too. Just like it's going to eventually come back to you. And when it touches them, it ricochets off them back to you. And when it touches you, it ricochets off of you back to them. And everybody in your environment. So he says, I now feed my mind with the idea of success and prosperity. Notice what he did here, because he's leading up to something. He first gave us, let me go back to the page. He first gave us health as the foundation. He's doing this for a reason. He wants the health to be on high octane permanently so that your whole body is healthy. Then he wants the mind to overflow with happiness. Why? Because you're healthy. Then he wants you to express the idea of love. Why? Because you're healthy and you're happy. Now you're more loving because you're healthy and you're happier. And with the love that's inside of you, now you take that energy and say, I now feed my mind with the idea of success and prosperity. We can now feed the mind with success and prosperity. Why? Because we're attracting better health into our life, better health into our bodies. We're attracting and giving more happiness out, joyfully. And we're doing it in a loving manner. So if we are healthy, then we become wealthy with health. And if we have happiness, we become happier with happiness. And if we have love, we have more unconditional love inside of us. And that's making us more loving. So now it's natural. I now feed my mind with the idea of success and prosperity. The presence and power of God in me, or universal God mind, in me, give me every reason to be successful. Now we know for a fact that if your health is in order, you got energy to make something happen. If you're very excited about that you're healthy, with excitement, and you're happy with your health, you got more energy in your bank to go do something. If you have unconditional love overflowing in your bank, You become very magnetic, because he already said the love that you share, that unconditional love that you're going to give out abundantly, is going to bring the right people into your experience for every right purpose. And therefore, the idea of success and prosperity shall unfold itself through you. If you're successful at being healthy, you're successful at being happy, you're successful at being successful, showing love and being loved, then your life will prosper abundantly from a healthy level, happiness level, love and joy level. It's going to be automatic. That's what he's telling us. Then he says, he put the fifth one in place. We're always searching for money. All of us are. There's not one person that's searching for money. Millionaires and billionaires keep searching for money. They don't stop where they're at. He says, I now feed my mind with the correct idea of money. The correct money idea in my mind draws money to me in new, exciting ways. I am, in capital letters again, enjoying lots and lots of money in right order. Now that's important. Lots and lots of money, but in the right order. Now you have more money to take care of your health. You got more money to enjoy your better health with greater happiness. You got more money to increase your unconditional love. Why? Because you can do more, not only for yourself, not only for your family, not only for your siblings, not only for your friends, not only for your neighborhood, not only for your career, but for people you don't even know. And then you realize all of that is success and prosperity no matter how you cut the pie. And that makes the source of money a correct idea. But what is money? Money is energy. Money, they say money is a currency. Why are they using the word currency when it comes from the word current? C-U-R-R-E-N-T. If something is current, that means that's something that's happening now. So that means even if you don't have any money in your pocket, even if you have low funds in your bank account, you have currency, you have energy, and your current energy is more important than anything else. And your current flow of energy has to do what? It has to come from what? Health. You have to be healthier. And we all do. I mean, you look at me. I'm a little chunky guy here. So I'm working on my health every day. Working not only to eat better, but cleanse, clear out the inside of yourself. Which is the same thing. If you can clear the inside of yourself out, if you can do a liver detox, you cut down all the allergies. If you do a liver detox, you get rid of all that stuck energy from anger. You clear the kidneys out. Then you balance yourself. You clear the gut, the intestinal tract out first. Why? Because then everything is flowing through there, gets cleansed, gets kicked out of your system, and then you start seeing good signs. And the more we work on ourselves, the heart beats better. And the more we work on ourselves, the chakra levels get clearer and they begin to expand. And then the meridians in the body, they get clear because now the chi can flow, and the fascia, which is that tissue area beneath the base of the skin, where the skin starts to touch the muscle, there's an area there known as fascia, F-A-S-C-I-A. And in the martial arts and Qigong and Kung Fu, and also in the yogic disciplines, this is where your Qi and your prana starts to flow through your body. If that fascia is clogged up, and not functioning properly, no chi moves through your body. It gets stuck. Then you get too dry, too moist, too damp, too arid, and the whole body breaks down. So, this is why people know about acupuncture, acupressure, massage, moxibustion. All of these things are doing what? Opening up those energy centers so that your chi can flow better. Even if you're not into that and you just go walking, you're opening up the 9 gates, huh? The groin points, the shoulder points, the armpit points, the ankle points, the knee points, the neck, the back. All of that gets opened up. So what? Chi can shoot through there. And not only is the chi shooting through there, your personal chi, but the chi from the energy coming up out of the universe, coming up out of the earth beneath your feet, in the soles of your feet. That starts popping through your body and starts shooting out the crown of your head. So even though I'm wearing a hat, it's shooting out the crown of my head. Even though I've got something around my neck, it's shooting out through the throat chakra. It's shooting out through the third eye, through the eyes, through the pores of my skin. We have so many tools that we can use. So let me leave this note with you. One of the most important things that I said earlier in this broadcast, that I repeated from the teachings of the late Rev.Ike here, was you have to be the one that's responsible for telling your mind how to think. You need to be the guardian of your own mind. And see, when you're the guardian of your own mind, then no one can manipulate your mind. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because every day, those of us who have switched from watching TV to being online are being bombarded with subliminal messages designed to get past your conscious mind and seep into your subconscious mind. Why? Because all of these groups and organizations that are doing all of these things, right down to rituals and all of that stuff, they understand that most of us may not know that we are the guardian, we are the filter for the subconscious mind running throughout the body. So, they do their best to impregnate your subconscious mind with negative thoughts, and enough negative thoughts that you believe in the program, because they're planting the seed into the program, which is the soil, so that you start responding. So this is why you might meet people who don't listen to the news. They know what they're doing. You might say, well, they should be listening to the news. No, they shouldn't. They understand that there's a greater network than man-made news. There's a greater network than the worldwide internet, which is all based on you and I and everybody else. Doesn't matter your complexion, your national heritage, no matter where you come from. Internet, TV, radio, all based on you and I and everybody else. And that's the hidden grid. So, watch less TV. Listen to less news. Now, why? Well, first of all, there's a lot of people that are reading the papers every day, reading the news every day, watching TV every day, watching CNN, NBCNN, and all these stations, radio, online, internet, radio, and TV. And there's a lot of people who are absorbing that information. So you might say that for every 6th to 10th person that knows you, in there, somebody's getting the news. So at some point, they're going to tell you about the news. It's up to you to filter the news. So somebody's always going to be telling you what somebody did anyway. So you don't need to spend your time watching the news. We have to become like our Aboriginal ancestors all over the world. We have to become like the farmers have learned to become, and that's what? Listen to nature. Listen to, read the vibrations of insects. Study animals, how they move in groups and how they feel and how they think within their own level of consciousness. If we become like the Aboriginals and the farmers of the land, you will have a completely different mechanism. I'm going to call it a completely different GPS going on in your body that will tell you something's encroaching that shouldn't be in your neighborhood. Something's encroaching that shouldn't be in your house. Something that's encroaching that's you can feel it underneath your feet. If we can get back to that level of conscious and spiritual awareness, then the things that appear to be occult to you will be just ordinary. You will be able to see spirit just like the four-legged cat in your house feels it. Just like the four-legged dog feels it. You know, I've learned, my housemate has a cat. The cat is named Sydney. And Sydney's been here 2 years. One of his friends from the Center of Spiritual Living couldn't have a cat anymore because she already had a cat and the two cats weren't getting along because this cat was kind of territorial and would fight with the other one who was more timid. So she didn't want to put the cat back in a shelter, and my housemate took the cat. Now, what's very interesting about this cat, and what I begin to learn through other people who understand animals from a spiritual and psychic level, is that cats and dogs have an extremely large auric field. And that means their antenna is bigger than they are. And that means if you're in the house and they're outside, they can feel you faster than you can feel them. And this cat goes in and out of the doggy door with ease. Walks on the fence or walks through the yard, hops up on the old jacuzzi, hops up on the fence, and walks all the way around to the front. And if I go out to watch sunrise, he'll be coming up to the gate for me to let him in. And many times when I'm about to leave this area, go through the hallway to get to the front door, he's right at the front door. And he knows I'm coming. He can feel me. And I said to myself, I need to get like him. I want to feel not only, let's say, a 9-foot radius, which if I look at it, it could be an 18-foot diameter and I'm in the middle of it. I want to feel a half a block. Now, I can set my chi so it rolls out like that. When I was younger and took a lot of Tai Chi, I used to be able to just fling it out there. And when I used to teach people, I just fling. I could have 40 people in class, teach them Tai Chi, put my back to them, face the mirror, show them the movements, close my eyes, and feel who was off and who was on. That's what I'm looking to get back to. We need to take our energy and fine-tune that energy through meditation, through prayer, through astral travel, through mental projection techniques, to soul traveling. Really amp that energy up. Because once we can amp that energy, that chi, that prana, and get it all the way out there, then we become like the four-legged ones, the winged ones, the eight-legged ones, like the centipede. You will feel everything you're supposed to feel. And through your level of deep sensing, which is clairsentient ability, you will be able to read everything before you leave your home. You'll be able to read everything before you get out of your car. You'll be able to know, in essence, the minds of people who drive their car. You will be able to determine Whoever's in front of you, you don't want to be behind them. And whoever you are in front of, you don't want that person that close to your car from their car or their vehicle, because they might be driving erratically. They might be texting, talking on the phone, or as people do now with Wi-Fi, talk through the entire car. The whole concept of this is for us to gain greater awareness. And that's all his teachings are really talking about. You want the prosperity. You want the more love to be generated in your life. You want money concept to be generated in your life. But it all is based on health. How do you feel? How do you really feel? Because if you don't feel well, we don't feel well physically. We may not feel well emotionally. We definitely are not going to feel well mentally. And then spiritually, we don't get any information. And the information is coming to us all the time. But the mental level is blocked and the emotional level is blocked. Even if the physical side is open, if the mental is blocked and the emotional is blocked, the spiritual can't come and greet and materialize on the physical. It can't come into your body. And even if it goes around you, you may not sense it clearly. So we have to change. We've got to start working on ourselves and change our vibration within. We change this vibration on the inside, then what happens? You'll know the news before it's reported. Let me say that again. You change the vibration of who you are on the inside. Refine it. Get it real clear. You will hear the news before you hear the news. And what is news? That's short for north, east, west, and south. Information, data, over the internet, over the TV, over radio, from your co-workers, from your boss, from the supermarket, people you meet there, people, maybe you still go to a pharmacy, people meet there, go to Whole Foods, go to all these places. People are going to be telling you the news. But you will hear the news before you hear it outside of yourself. You'll hear it from the inside. That's what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to take this energy that we have with ourselves, that's with us naturally. We want to take all of this energy. We want to utilize this energy in such a way that it enhances what we already have. Now, we can enhance, and I'm going to review what I used last week with him. The chapter that comes right after this one is this one that I just gave you was Feed Your Mind Right Ideas. But the chapter I gave last week, I'm going to give you the highlight. It says 4 steps to get what you want. So first, you got to decide it. Now you already have given your mind good ideas. You fed it properly. Now this one makes sense. Now you can decide. Do I want a small house, medium-sized house, big house? Do I want it in a cul-de-sac or on the corner or facing the street? Or do I want it like 6 or 7 houses in? Do I want it on a quarter of an acre, a fifth of an acre, a half an acre, a whole acre, 2 acres, 3 acres? Do I want some fruit trees in my backyard? Do I want a 1 car, a 2 car, or a 5 car garage? Even if you don't drive, you want a big garage. Why? So all your friends can park their car in the garage. Do you want a house that's on 1 floor, split level, 2 floors, half a mansion, whole mansion? So things like that. You say, okay, I want to take a trip once a month. I want to have so much of an overflow of prosperity and abundance that's coming in my life that I am taking a trip once a month. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere to what? Make more money? I'm going somewhere to buy some property. I'm going somewhere to meet up with friends. I'm going somewhere to meet new friends. I'm going somewhere to relax. Or maybe I'm going to write a book, several books. And I see my books being picked up by major book sellers. Kramer Publishing is picking up my book. I see my book on Amazon.com. Louise Hay House Publishing is publishing my book. Hay House is selling not only my book, but my ebook. It's selling my DVDs. It's selling my CD audios. Or maybe you started your own publishing company, and now you're projecting all of that out onto the market. But just imagine what you can give to yourself when you make yourself absolutely clear. Make that I am present. So in this chapter that followed, the one that we just did, Feed Your Mind Right Ideas, and the one that I did last week was called 4 Steps to Get What You Want. First, he tells you to decide it. Just like a journalist would do. A journalist goes out and reports the news. Do you know the journalist has to answer 5 little questions so that when he or she gives you that news in a span of 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, they could tell you everything that you needed to know. For an example, you walk out your house and Channel 7 ABC News is around the corner. Something just happened. So you step out there and you're watching this journalist, this news reporter, tell you what just happened, where it happened, when it happened, giving you the time. So he told you what just happened. Why did it happen? Where did it happen? When did it happen? How did it take place? And usually the how is the news reporter asking everybody else on the street, did you see what just happened? Right here. That was the where. When did you see it happen? How? Was there any other people involved? See? So, when you decide what you want, he said what it is, what helps describe. But then the sub questions are going to be, when do I want it? Why do I want it? Why do I want this thing? This element? What significance does it hold for me? Why is it so important? And when do I think I can get it? And how do I go about getting it? And what every mystical person, every sage has ever said, even Rev.Ike said, don't worry about it. How it takes place, how it gets to you. Just know what you want. Then when you decide on what it is that you want and where you want it to come, which is you, then he says, believe it. Believe it in the sense, though, that he means is mentally accept the decision. And how do you accept it? By mentally embracing it. And how do you do that? He says the third step was you got to see it. Well, where do you have to see it? Well, before you see it materialize before your eyes, before your physical eyes, you have to see it inside you. When you see what you desire is on the inside, because you've already accepted mentally, like, yeah, this is for me. I deserve it. I deserve the best. It's for me. When you have arrived at that point to say that, and you step past belief, you're trusting in it, you're having faith in it, you know this to be true. That's what faith is. Faith is beyond belief. Faith is what you know to be true in you. Then he says you see that, you visualize it. Visualize the end result. You know, when children say they want a bike from mom and dad, the child, the boy and girl doesn't go, well, how much money does mom and dad make? They don't think that. They usually just think, hey, mom and dad, I want a new bike. I want a guitar. I want a piano. I want piano lessons. Why? Because they already have decided that's what they want. They already have accepted that they're going to receive it. And they already see in their mind enjoying it. Okay? They already see that they're enjoying it. So what's the next best thing? Well, children do it automatically. They feel as well as they see. We have pulled away from that. So our brother here, Rev.Ike, says, you got to see it. He said a comedian once said this, and I used to watch this comedian, brother by the name of Flip Wilson, and you can look him up on the internet. He used to have all of these different comical characters, but he used to say, what you see is what you get. Now, he did it in a comical way, meaning how the person was seeing him and seeing his character. So he would go, what you see is what you get. Here's the other take. What you see in your mind and what you feel about that, that's what you're going to get. So let's go back now and give ourselves a new feeling, a new thought, and a new feeling. We're going to keep it simple. Are you ready? We're going to go with, listen, and after I say this or describe this, then I'm going to count to 10. And if you have a pencil or pad around you, I want you to write down what you felt. Now, this is the antithesis of what I gave you earlier. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm just full of tears of happiness. I'm so happy that everybody that is listening to me right now feels the joy. I'm so happy that when I stand up, my body is rippling with happiness. I'm so happy that I can get anything. I can feel anything. I can see it all come to me. I'm so happy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a deep breath now. And inhale that thought. I am so happy. And then exhale and share it with the world. Inhale again. And think to yourself and feel the thought. I am so happy. And as you exhale, share that breath of that experience with the world. And then inhale and feel it in the heart chakra region. I am so happy. Inhale it. You're so happy what? Because you're sharing it with the world. Exhale. Now just take that in. And note the difference between that exercise and the one earlier in the program. How did you really feel? If you felt down in that other one, you should have felt down. In this one here, we're not canceling it out, though, you see. That's the difference. I didn't tell you to cancel this one. I'm telling you, the more you inhale upon the thought of it and the feeling of it and the seeing of it and the acceptance of it, when you exhale, you're sharing that, which means you're blessing yourself, you're blessing your environment, you're blessing your partner, you're blessing your four-legged friend in the house, the dog, the cat, the winged ones, the bird, the aquarium. Everything's getting blessed. I bet you if you walked outside your door right now and went for a walk, you'd be feeling all of that goodness on you. And anybody that saw you, when you smiled, they would smile back. And if they didn't smile, they might smile after you passed them. They're not going to go, I don't know why that guy's smiling at me. I don't know why that lady's. No, they're going to go like, wow, something just happened to that person. And if you caught them at the right moment when you smiled upon them, maybe the next day, or when you come back that way, if they're still outside, they may wave to you. And you go, hey, just like that. Or they may nod their head. Or they might look your way. Life is interesting when we control the energy of it through ourselves. Even if you're having what you call a quote-unquote bad day, and we all have a quote-unquote bad day, it's up to us to change the vibration, though. Change it around. You know, one of the things about studying the works and for me reviewing the teachings of Rev.Ike and sharing them with you is it's a reminder that when you wake up in the course of the day, in the beginning of the day, and you had a rough day, one of the things you want to do is forget about it. Forget about your connection to it. For a split second, split moment in time, forget about what it made you feel like. Cancel it out and says, okay, I've been through this before. Let me get out of the way. Let me go for a walk. Now here's where your TV comes in at. Let me put a DVD in that I like to watch. And watch something funny. Or watch something funny first. Get your joy button back working. Then watch something that's educational. Something that lifts your spirit. But you pick something that's joyful and funny, that's going to automatically lift your spirit. So he says, decide what you want. Mentally embrace that it can happen. See it in your mind. And what? All of those three steps is what? Going into your subconscious mind. All three of those steps are going to go into your subconscious mind to do what? This is what it's going to do. It's going to spread like wildfire inside of you. And you're going to get excited about it. You're going to breathe in the joy. You're going to breathe in the happiness. You're going to get excited about it. And because you're breathing it in, you get excited. And it starts to do what? It starts to materialize in your body. And as it materializes in your body, you begin to do what? You begin to feel it even more. And the more you feel it with more joy and happiness behind the feeling, the greater the opportunity for it to materialize not only in your body, but outside of you in your experience. That means the subconscious you is saying, wow, look at this. This feels different. Greatly different. In fact, this stuff that's coming in here feels really, really, really good. Subconscious starts bathing itself in the goodness of it. Why? Because it's just feeling the energy. It doesn't know whether it's good or bad, but it's up to you to feed it more goodness. Because that's what you want to germinate inside your subconscious, so that your subconscious self will look for more of that. And will start setting you up from the inside out for you to receive the goodness, for you to receive the excitement, for you to receive all that you deserve. And as you do that, more and more shall be given unto you, through you, by you, by the I am that's inside of you. So we're going to do a little more Rev.Ike stuff, rocking with him every Thursday, also on Blog Talk Radio. So it doesn't matter I had a so-called technical issue. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use the phone, and I'm going to broadcast next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, on my Blog Talk Radio channel, The Age of Remembrance. also known as the Circle of Grace 1 in the Age of Remembrance. And then I'll be back here next Thursday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, that's 7 p.m. If you're in the Central Time Zone, that's 6 p.m. If you're in the Pacific Coast area, that's 4 p.m. I'm going to be on at least for 75 minutes. We're going to do some more Rev.Ikeism, I'm going to call it. That's right here on Ustream.tv with Circle Grace 1 live with me, Brother Francis E. Revels Bey. Now, before I sign off, I want to repeat for those of you who may have missed, and you can come back and watch this broadcast for at least 30 days, but I'm going to do my best to upload it into my YouTube channel, Circle Grace 1 YouTube channel as well. One of the things that I'm just starting to do is I am offering at a cost, a mild cost, my first 5 basic spiritual courses in PDF form, which is print down format. All right. And what are they? The Key to Life is Numerology, also known as the Shorthand of Astrology, in PDF format. You're going to get a basic course in numerology. You're going to find out what the 0 means. You're going to find out the meaning of master numbers from double zeros to double 99. You're going to find out what the birthday calendar month means that you're born on. You're going to find out what the destiny number means, or sometimes call your life path number. You're going to get information of the numbers 1 through 9 that can be broken down inside a calendar day that you're born on. You're going to find out the astrological significance, meaning sun signs. You're going to find out gemstones that intuitively have come to me about those numbers. You're going to find out colors that go and days of the week that go with each number from 1 to 9. Then you're going to find out the 10 root compound numbers, which are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. You're going to find out what they mean. And that's good to know, because you might know somebody that's born in 1935 in your house. You'll be able to interpret that year. You might know somebody that's born 1964, who's a friend. You can interpret that year that they're born in by looking at the numbers. Maybe you're born in 1988. Now you got the master number in there, and then the 19 as the constant number, and then you'll see what that whole year means for you, the year that you were born, and every 9 years after. Wow, there's a lot of information in that one. And then the next PDF was White Light Meditation and Energetic Shields. That means the importance of meditation and shielding yourself up with white light, and how you can use different sacred geometrical patterns in your thinking that will expand into that light and keep your energy field as high as you want it to be. And then there's another PDF called The Art of Manifesting Your Heart's Desires. The Art of Manifesting Your Heart's Desires, and its subtitle is The 10 Fields of Awareness. And you're going to want to read that one. You're going to be excited when you see that one. And then there's one called Understanding Your Dreams. And there's a little section in there that talks about utilizing dreams to create success for yourself, called Dreaming for Success. At least the concept, the seed is planted there for you. And in understanding your dreams, you're going to find out the importance of the days of the week, meaning in terms of, the time of day that you can recognize that the dream is going on, that you're experiencing. What does it mean when you just see yourself in the dream from head to toe, as opposed to when you are in the dream and you don't see your face, unless you can see a reflection of your face, but you can see your body just like you do right now. All of that is in that one. I talk about colors and numbers also in dreams. And then the last one, which I just completed 2 days ago. That's an extensive one called Tarot Basics 1, 2, 3. Tarot Basics 1 covers how to read the 56 minor arcana cards with my 4+1 system. Then Tarot Basics 2 is how to read the major arcana cards. In other words, what do those mean? A little bit of numerology in there, a little bit of astrology in there too, sun signs and planets. Then Tarot Basics Part 3 is the maps of consciousness. And I introduce you to the 357. The 357 is the 3 map consciousness, 3 card map, the 5 card map, the 7 card map. The 3 is cool because the 3, 5, and the 7, we call those the radio spreads. But the 3 gives you a unique look at yes and no answers to a question. That's what you can do with the 3 card spread. And I explain how to do it. The 5 card map is an extension of the 3. And I show you the different ways you can do that. And then I even mention, I don't really explain them, but I have mentioned a 9 card spread. I show you teaching a 9 card spread. I don't really teach it, but I mention it so how you can play with it. Also, I mention how you can, in your mind, if you're following everything by that time, 11 card spread. We can go 1 at the top, 2 rows of 5, horizontally or vertically, if you want. Or you can go 5, 5, 1. That's unique. So it'll show you some things. And when you do the 7 card map, which is a spread, and I call it maps of consciousness because your consciousness changes every time you read the cards in a certain arrangement in front of you. When you get to that point with the 7 card map system, you can read the week in advance. Put a card out for every day of the week, Sunday through Saturday. Or you can do the week's review from a Saturday, laying the cards out. Or you can do a 7 chakra layout. And you can use from the crown to the root, or go from the root to the crown, or just throw cards out in one of those positions, just to know how the different chakras are being expressed, the energy field through you. Then I saved the best for last. Now, in the 357, I give you also a compatibility for 2 people and how to set the cards up in a horizontal line in terms of like parallel horizontally. And I give you a sample reading, but I changed the name of the couple. But I give you a sample reading of the cards. I show you what cards are that I threw for them, and I explain for each one, and then I tell you what's best, what's going to happen. Now, I show you the 16 card spread, and this is a spread that was channeled to me in 1987 from my late mom, Mother Grace, who was a spiritualist. And she read with a regular deck of cards, but her gift was she could look right at you and read you. This is some of the things that I'm doing now. Been doing it now for 10 years, looking at people and reading them, feeling energy and reading people. She also used to use a candle flame, sometimes 2. Amazing. The candle flame be standing still, the person get in front of her, and she'd look at that flame and start reading the person. And she wouldn't put it so it was right in front of them. She put it off to the side, and she'd start reading that individual through the candle flame. Well, she gave me a 16 card spread, and I show you the different positions, what they mean, so that if you want to explore it, you can. But it's my favorite spread. I've used it over radio. I've used it online radio. I've read it in front of clients. And when I read in front of clients, I take it and turn it in reverse so that they're looking at the cards as if they dealt them. In fact, that's how you want to be with your own tarot cards. Well, before we close this program out, I want to thank each and every one of you that's tuned in right now, watching Circle Grace 1 with myself, Brother Francis E. Revels Bey. I want to thank you for your support. of following me every week as I give out these teachings of the late Reverend Ike. And I'm going to show him this is what his book looks like. Get my thumb out the way. This is the book. Get real close. See? Reverend Ike's Secrets for what? Health, joy, and prosperity for you. This is what the man looked like when he was younger. He was a classy dresser. And his church, United Palace of Christ, as he calls it, when he says the United Palace of Christ, he's talking about Christ consciousness. His son, who he made a bishop underneath him, is carrying out his teachings, and many of his other young ministers, like Minister Bomar and all of them, they're right there on West 175th Street in Washington Heights in Manhattan at the corner of Broadway. This man here took $250 after being a chaplain in, I believe, the Army or the Air Force, came out and started his church, his own ministry, which is this, A Science of Living Study Guide. And this book has 52 chapters, which means there's a chapter. Each one of these chapters fit a Sunday program. And he had so many people. He bought an old Lowe's theater. Had, over the years, the organ with the pipes restored so that somebody could play it. And he had it's a theater, so you see, like a movie theater, a vaudeville theater, in fact, downstairs seating, upstairs seating. Now, I never had a chance to go to it, but I know many close friends of my mom who would go to that service. Now, there's a lot of people he's blessed. And if you go to their websites, I'm not going to say all their names, but I'll say one, Mark Victor Hansen. Mark V. Hansen, Hansen. He took Mark under his wings. Mark was living homeless. And Mark used to go with a couple other people to the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale's church. And then they would swing uptown and go hear Reverend Ike. And after a while, he used all of Reverend Ike's teachings and turned his whole life around. There are many other people who had the chance, the opportunity to be mentored by Reverend Ike. But I used to hear Reverend Ike with my mom if I was sick, home from school as a little boy with asthma. During a weekday, my mother would be listening to her gospel channel on WWRL. But at 1 o'clock, and sometimes at 11 o'clock in the morning, she would go get 2 notebooks, one for herself and one for me. And you would hear from Boston, Massachusetts, Reverend Ike. And then he would come on and start to do his show, broadcasting from Boston, Massachusetts. And then later, New York City on a Sunday. Well, this is closing out. We have spent approximately 1 hour and 28 minutes and counting. Again, thank you for being supportive. I'm a different kind of spiritual minister. Many people come on and looking for donations and things of that nature. I do have some things to sell you. Those are my PDFs. If just send me an email to iam.circlegrace1@yahoo.com, and I will send you the information. And in the information, it'll give you the steps. It'll show you what I'm offering at $27 each. And if you want a set of all 5 of them, you get a 12% discount, and you'll get them, instead of paying $135, you'll get it for $118. Once you make that transaction and it's in place and it's fully done, I'll email them out either through Yahoo account, or better yet, through my Gmail, which is iam.circlegrace1@gmail.com. All of these can be paid through PayPal, and I'll send you a PayPal invoice. And all you do is click on the View and Pay button that's right there, and it'll take you right to PayPal, and you just use your debit or credit card. It gets encrypted onto the site. I don't even get to see that. and you put in the message box as well as the amount, because when I send you the PayPal invoice, it's going to give you the amount. But if you want to have me reiterate this in an email, all you got to do is send me an email to iam.circlegrace1@yahoo.com, and I'll send you the information, and then you make your decision. And if you email me back and says, okay, I want to buy these 3 or 2 of them or 4 of them, or I want to get the discount and buy all 5, then I'll send you a PayPal invoice, and you can do that. But if you're right here in Albuquerque, you're right here in Santa Fe, maybe, you live down in Balin, or you're in Los Lunas, you're that close, so you're across town, I'm on the west side, you're on the east side, and you probably already have my number, so you'll probably call me up and say, can I meet you somewhere and give you the cash? Yeah, you can do that too. You can do that also. I accept cash, of course. And I'll email it to you promptly. A couple of months from now, maybe a month from now, I'm actually planning a set of 5 more that I'm going to be doing. So be sure to email me. Buy these PDFs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and if for $27 each. But if you want all 5, it's $118, so you're saving $17. That's a pretty good deal. And you get it in your email. So that's important. You're going to have to give me your email when you email me, and I'll get it. Then I'll send you a PayPal invoice. Then you'll make the transaction. When it's successful, goes through, and I'll know it. Then I will email you what you have purchased. And I want you to have a good time with them. And one of the things I really shouldn't have to say, but I'll say it anyway here. For those of you that buy the PDFs, if you tell other people about it, let them purchase their own. And if you would like to purchase for them, or better yet, if you are in the spirituality and metaphysics, and let's say that you want to use my work as a teaching guide, then if you want to purchase more, I'll give you a further discount so that you could share them with your students. Or just send your students straight to me, let them pay me, and I'll see that they get their copy, and then you all could learn from it at the same time. All right, it is 1:32, and I did make it to 92 minutes here. I'm going to sign off. I'll be back next Wednesday. I usually broadcast through my phone anyway for the Age of Remembrance on Blog Talk Radio. I do plan to do a show. I might just cut it and do it live. I will be back here next Thursday, and I know for sure that I will be using my phone like I'm doing right now, and I'll try not to angle it up like that. Try to keep it like this. You can see me, you don't see all over the place, But I'm having a blast. I'm glad you're on here with me. If you're on Facebook with me, give me some comments about what you heard today, how you felt about the teachings today. I'm on Facebook. Circle of Grace 1 is my fan page. And, when I use that fan page, I guess I don't use it like everybody else. I'm not looking for a fan club. I'm just putting information that people can utilize right away. So all of my ads are on there, too, about what I'm offering. But send me a private inbox message if you're a friend of me already with Facebook. Or go to my 2 other Facebook club closed groups that I have and leave me some information, or just shoot me a private inbox message, or send me a private email to iam.circlegrace1@yahoo.com or iam.circlegrace1@gmail.com. If you want to speak to me, you can always call my Skype number, and I can call you through Skype, which is 505-349-4722. You can also call my Magic Jack number. You're going to hear a 2-minute all-purpose meditational prayer and decree if you call 505-717-4722. You can call that particular number around the clock. you will hear that all-purpose decree. Well, I'm going to sign off. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. Let me give you a real close-up. Take care now. I love you all. Thank you for supporting me, and I want to keep you in my prayers as well. I love each and every one of you. You are truly who you are growing to be, and that's an I am. Take care. See you next week. Are you still here with me? Yep, you are. Alrighty. We're still on here together.